Welcome to another edition of Eumer Fly Tying with Joe Fitzpatrick.
Today we're going to tie this fly. It's fast and easy to tie, and it's excellent for chum salmon. The materials for this fly consist of olive crystal flash, a chartreuse green saddle hackle, a pink saddle hackle, and 6/0 chartreuse tying thread. For this fly we'll be using a Eumer Conehead tube. Each Eumer tube pack comes complete with a liner tube and a hook junction tube. For this fly, we're going to be using a pink liner tube. Okay, let's get started with this fly. We're going to go ahead and take a chartreuse green Eumer Conehead tube and a pink small liner tube, and I'm going to go ahead and insert this into the fly. And I'm actually going to leave it a little bit extended in the back right here for a reason. I'm going to take a couple drops of super glue and I'm going to put it right onto the back of this fly, just like that. And then I'm going to pull the body back just to help seat it right in, just like that. And there's a little excess there, so we're going to go ahead and just dab that off. And then just let it sit for a couple of seconds, and it'll prevent the conehead tube from spinning when we have it on the mandrel. So I'm going to cut this down to about 2 millimeters, and then I'm going to take my Bic lighter and I'm going to go ahead and melt the tubing, just touching it to the blue flame, just like that, till it goes all over the back of this. Now I've closed the hole up, so while this is still warm, I need to put it into here just to open the hole up. Okay, just like that. So then I'm going to take the front of this, and same thing, I'm going to knock it down about 2 millimeters, and then I'm going to go ahead and take the same technique, touch the blue flame, just like this, onto the tube. Make sure you only dab it in here and don't leave it on there, because it'll actually catch on fire, and that would be a pretty bad thing. And just continue to do that until it rolls over in a mushroom shape over the head of the fly, just like so. And we'll go ahead and put this onto the Eumer tapered mandrel, and that's going to open up the hole, and we'll push it back onto the vise to prevent it from spinning. Okay, next thing we're going to do is we've got some chartreuse green 6/0 thread. We're going to go ahead and tie it in here, just right onto this section of the tube, which will be our tie-in point, and just tie it down just like that. Okay, now we're going to take a pretty good amount of crystal flash, and as far as length, we want it to extend a little bit beyond where the hook's going to be, probably about 1 inch or so. So this will be perfect right here, and we're just going to tie it in right on top of the fly, just like this, and lock it down, and then take the stuff that's forward, and then we'll lock that down right on the top, just like that. And then what we'll do is we'll go underneath the fly, and then with using just the scissors in a cutting motion, I'm going to work my way back towards the rear of the fly, just like that. And what that's going to do is give us a nice tapered wing. Okay, now I'm going to take my 2 hackle feathers. This is a pink and a chartreuse. I've stacked them on top of each other. I've already prepared the stems, and I'm going to go ahead and clip off the excess, and I'm going to tie them both in at the same time, right on my side of the fly, with the concave facing the fly, just like this. I'm going to give it a little bit of a tug and make sure it's not going anywhere, and it looks fine. And I'm going to take my hackle pliers now and put them right here on the tips, and make sure I've got both of them and they're pretty even, just like that. Now I'm just going to wrap this forward, and I'm going to fold it backwards because I'm using, this is kind of webby stuff. This is a saltwater hackle, so it's nice and webby. And just fold it backwards, just like this. I'll go ahead and lock in the stems. Just a couple of wraps, and then clip out the stems. I'm going to take fingers, I'm going to pull back on the material as I'm wrapping backwards, And I'm trying to take this material and angle it towards the rear of the fly like this. And I'm locking down the hackle stems as I'm doing this. I've got quite a few thread wraps going, but that's okay. Okay, now all we got to do is we'll put a couple drops of super glue right onto the thread base here. And what that's going to do is lock down my thread so I don't have to tie in a knot. And I'm going to go ahead and clip out the thread. And that's it, guys. That's a completed fly.